Hey guys, it's Alex Wright at the Alex Wright Show, and today we're going to be talking about the Super Bowl. Let's go. It's only fitting that the first episode of the Alex Wright Show will be on one of the greatest sports events in history, the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 55 this year, played on February 7th, 2021 in Tampa Bay. Now, who's playing in the Super Bowl? Well, we got the Kansas City Chiefs, led by Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, against Tom Brady and Bruce Arians, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Chiefs, basically they remind me of the greatest show on turf, but on steroids. You got Patrick Mahomes, basically a better version of Kurt Warner. You got the running game is not as good as the greatest show on turf. Obviously, Marshall Faulk is a beast. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire is not there yet. He's solid, but he's not there yet. And then you got just disgusting wide receivers that Mahomes can throw to. Travis Kelce at tight end, one of the best, if not the best tight end of all time, if it's all said and done when he's done playing football. Tyreek Hill, arguably the best receiver in football. And then you got other guys like Sammy Watkins, Demarcus Robinson, other guys that are solid. On the other side, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they remind me of the Eli Manning Giants. Immobile quarterback with Eli Manning and Tom Brady. Some good quarterbacks, but immobile, don't really move. But they had great defenses. This Tampa Bay defense, as I'm going to talk about later, is a great defense, and this is going to be a challenge for the Chiefs in the Super Bowl for sure. Looking at the offenses of these two teams, we're going to see a lot of firepower. As I mentioned, the weapons earlier. Both teams got amazing weapons, and it shows in the stats. Kansas City, best offense in the league this year, and Tampa Bay is not far behind, boasting the 7th best offense in the year. And these are the two teams with the best passing attack in the league. 1 and 2, Kansas City at 1, Tampa Bay at 2. And then we got the running game. This is where Tampa Bay has Kansas City beat, as Kansas City primarily likes to throw the football more than run it, as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got the 8th best rushing attack in all of football this season, while the Chiefs are at 16th in the rankings for rushing. Points, they're both top 6. Surprisingly, according to the stats, Tampa Bay is 3rd in points per game this season, and Kansas City is 6th. But one thing's for sure, we know these teams are going to put up points in the Super Bowl. There's no question about that. The key offensive stats that I think will affect or have a huge impact on the game, third downs. Kansas City, one of the best teams at converting third downs. And Tampa Bay, they're not that bad. They're 11th in converting third downs, while Kansas City is 3rd. But still, it's about 5.5% difference. Also, the Kansas City Chiefs, their offense commits a lot of penalties. Over 200 yards more in penalties and over 20 more penalties during the regular season Kansas City has committed on the offensive side. Now we want to talk about the defensive side. This is where Tampa Bay has a huge advantage against the Chiefs. They have the 6th best defense in the league this season, while the Kansas City Chiefs are once again average at a spot on their roster, and they're the 16th best defense. Tampa Bay has the best rush defense. They defend the run really well. They got a good D-line, as I'm going to talk about later. Passing-wise, not so good. 21st in the league. That's where Kansas City has them beat. Going back to the rush defense, as we know, as I just said, Tampa Bay got the best rush defense of all of football this year. On the other end, Kansas City does not defend the run that well and is 21st in the league. Will that be a deciding factor in the Super Bowl? Who knows? We'll get to that later. Other key stats defensively, third down percentage is not big of a difference. They're both around average for letting teams convert third downs. And penalties, again, Kansas City gives up more penalties on defense than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's talk about the stats that really matter. The quarterback matchup between Patrick Mahomes, the future GOAT, and Tom Brady, the current GOAT. Against each other, they have played 4 times. They have played 3 times in the regular season and 1 time in the postseason. These two guys have split those first 4 matchups 2-2. So this one is going to be the decider, the 5th game. How did they play, though, in those 4 previous games? Patrick Mahomes, 65% completion percentage to Brady's 63. We got Patrick Mahomes almost at 1,400 yards, while Brady's slightly above 1,200 yards. We got Patrick Mahomes, 11 touchdowns to 3 interceptions to Brady's 6 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. And then yards per attempt, Mahomes has 8.5 yards per attempt to Brady's 7.6. Brady had 7.6 yards per attempt. And then adjusted yards per attempt, Mahomes had 9.51 yards to Brady's 7 yards, adjusted yards per attempt. And then QBR, the stat that says who played better at quarterback for that game. Average QBR for both these guys against each other. Patrick Mahomes, 74.9 against Brady, 61 to 61.6 for Brady against Mahomes. So obviously when you look at these stats, Mahomes is outplaying Brady every time. So if Brady wants to help his team, the Buccaneers, get that Super Bowl ring in Tampa Bay, the first home Super Bowl, he is going to have to play good. That defense is going to have to play good too, but he's going to have to put his team in a position like he has in the past against the Falcons in the Super Bowl, against the Seahawks in the Super Bowl, to go get the job done and get that win. I have a lot of things that I think are good about these teams and a lot of things that I'm concerned about these teams. Kansas City, I'm not so sure about the secondary. Their D-line, besides Chris Jones, is kind of eh. And the O-line. The O-line is the biggest problem for me in this game if I'm going to pick Kansas City to win this. They got to protect Mahomes. They got to let Mahomes have time. On the other hand, again, with Tampa Bay, like with Kansas City, the secondary, I'm not so confident. So it kind of cancels each other out. And that goes with the safeties as well. Them being, their status being kind of unknown, or if they're going to be 100% for the game. And then Brady. Brady has been all right in the postseason, but he hasn't been elite like Mahomes has been elite. And the experience. Besides Brady and Gronk, a lot of these guys have not played in a game this big. So that's going to be an issue, as last year most of these guys from Kansas City played in that Super Bowl against the 49ers, came back and won it. So they have that experience and know how to play in that situation. Now the strengths for both of these teams, what do I like? They both got a good quarterback. Both got smart, good quarterbacks, elite quarterbacks all time in Mahomes and Brady. And they both got weapons, as I said before. Both of them have a ton of weapons to throw to and utilize in this game. Coach for the Kansas City Chiefs, Andy Reid, all-timer, one of the best coaches of all time. Finally got his first ring last year. He is an elite coach, and he will definitely be a difference in this game. And then experience, as I said before. They got a ton of experience in Kansas City. They've been here, done that, and they're trying to get that second ring and try to repeat and become the new dynasty after the New England Patriots. On the other hand, we got Tampa Bay. What do they got? They got Brady. Although I said he's also an issue, in my opinion, he has that experience. He's been in these moments like Mahomes, even more so than Mahomes. He's been there, came back multiple times. This D-line, Vita Vea's coming back from his broken ankle leg injury. You got Jason Pierre-Paul coming off the edge, Shaq Barrett. You got them big boys, Ndamukong Suh. That D-line is going to be a problem for Mahomes in this game. Before I get into the final verdict, who I think will win the Super Bowl and how it will be done, let's go and talk about the X Factors. For Kansas City, I think their X Factors are on the defensive side. Chris Jones, Frank Clark, and Tyrann Mathieu, Honey Badger. As we've seen last year in the Super Bowl, Chris Jones, Frank Clark, and Tyrann Mathieu made huge plays in the Super Bowl to help propel the Chiefs to a W in that game. Frank Clark at the end of the game getting that huge sack and batted ball against Jimmy G. Chris Jones had a batted ball, I believe, too. Tyrann Mathieu just out there using his instincts, making plays. They rise to the occasion, and they're ready for the big moment. And that's why those three are my X Factors for this game for Kansas City. On the other side, Tampa Bay, the D-line. The game will be won in the trenches if Tampa Bay is going to win this game. If they can get to Mahomes, make him play not so good like he did in the Super Bowl last year before that fourth quarter, they will win this game. If that D-line can cause problems, if they don't have to blitz all the time to get to Mahomes, they will win this game. And Antonio Brown, if he plays, that's another weapon that Tom Brady has to utilize and they can use as a team. After saying all of that, who do I think is going to win the Super Bowl? I got the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes repeating and getting their second Super Bowl. How I think the game's going to work. As we saw with the previous meeting earlier this season, I do not expect Kansas City to have an easy coast to the finish line to get this dub like they did when they played the Buccaneers earlier in the season in that first quarter. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a one-score game. These teams got a lot of offensive firepower. They both have huge strengths and weaknesses with Mahomes, the D-line for Tampa Bay. But ultimately, you got the best quarterback in Patrick Mahomes, the greatest quarterback I've ever seen. I have not seen anyone in their lifetime, even Thomas Brady in his prime, play as well as Mahomes. He just puts up points. He is the Steph Curry of the NFL. He will get points up in a hurry and you won't even notice it. We saw it last season when he was in the playoffs against the Texans. Literally scored 28 points in one quarter and got that lead back with a snap of the finger. And put up points when he was down against the Titans, put him up against the 49ers. This man can put up points. One thing that's concerning, as I mentioned before, the D-line. Mahomes, one of the best quarterbacks against pressure and blitzes, so I don't think that's going to be it. It's going to be a problem, but he will overcome that challenge in the Super Bowl. And ultimately, I don't think Tom Brady can keep up with Mahomes. And if he can, he's going to need a couple he needs that D-line to help him out. He needs that defense to come in clutch as they all have all season long. And ultimately, I think the score of the game will be 38-31 with Mahomes getting his second Super Bowl and getting closer to becoming the GOAT over Thomas Edward Patrick Brady. And that's the Alex Wright Show. Thanks for listening, and peace out.